Alright, we're in Boulder, Colorado right now, and we are heading up Sunshine Canyon, and this is gonna go for about 8 miles through the canyon, and then we'll jump on some dirt road that's gonna take us up to Gold Hill, and then we'll cross back over to the Peak to Peak Highway and make it over to Nederland for a treat. So we put in the directions in the CarPuride using Apple CarPlay, and it's going to try and take us a different route, but we're just going to kind of follow the route that we got, that I know we're going. So this is a pretty popular bicycle climb because it's right out of town and it's a little curvy and steep. Nice things about living around Boulder is there are no bad roads out here as far as the views are concerned. we're going to be on dirt from now on. There was a fire here not too long ago, and all the trees got burned out on that back side. But it's beautiful up here. Can't imagine what it costs to build a house up here, nor would I want to. I'm sure when the fire came through here, it burned down several homes. Probably up 7,000, 7,500 feet right now. We've dropped a nice 14 degrees since we started climbing, so it's much nicer out. It's first weekend in September of 2025, and we got our first snow up in the mountains the other day when the front came through. So So winter's coming. And when I say mountains, I'm like above 12,000 feet. So Gold Hill is a mining town. There's a lot of history coming into here. Didn't expect to see a U-Haul truck up here. Alright, so that was the journey from the city of Boulder up Sunshine Canyon, down Gold Hill Road, and we're getting ready to turn here in a second on Peak to Peak Highway, and we'll be in Nederland in a few minutes. So a couple of takeaways from my trip today. I had just put the Black Dog Cycle Work large foot pedals or foot pegs on, and boy do they make a difference. My foot feels so much better on them, especially when standing up. And it's amazing how much more control you feel when you're standing up, when you're off-road. Sometimes sitting down you get a little squirrely in the loose stuff, but when you're standing up, man, it makes such a difference. I guess for me the big thing is I gotta adjust my handlebars up a little bit more. I had moved them once before after the last time I was off-road and standing up, and I really need to do it again. So once we get back, we'll adjust those handlebars up another couple degrees and see how it goes, and take another test drive. And I've had to make a couple adjustments to the foot shifter, and I think I got it right where I want it right now, so that's good. But this thing just seems to glide, and I wasn't going fast by any means, and the dirt road I was on was not a technical road by any means, aside from just some of the loose gravel and the washboards. That was it. But it was, to me, that's what I bought this bike for, is to be able to go off the highway on roads like that, and you know, maybe some milder trails and things like that. But that's really all I want to do, and it's turned out to be perfect. It's doing everything that I want. It's comfortable, and I feel comfortable on the bike, and the more I ride it, the more I learn about it. And I've been toying around with the suspension a little bit, and right now I just had the suspension in dynamic, so it's auto adjusting to my weight. And I've set up the different performance modes. So right now I just have the 4 rain mode, road mode, dynamic pro, and enduro pro, just to kind of give me some options depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing, as far as how the bike handles and all those things. So the more we get out there and run it, the more I'll be able to work through those and kind of see which one is best applicable for what I do. I know there's lots of folks that can ride this bike a whole lot better than I can, and ride them like dirt bikes, and that's just not what I bought this for. So are already turning. We've had some nights down in the 20s and 30s up here at elevation, and so the fall leaves are turning out here. Pretty soon the aspens will be glowing. The folks leaf peeping, as they call it out here, will be out en masse. Alright, I hope you guys got something for the video. I hope you enjoyed the trip, and this is Dan, and we'll talk to you next time that we go out riding around. Thanks for watching.